Hey guys. Hey Leif.
Hey man.
Thanks for tuning in again to the 7th episode.
I think so.
I
think so, yeah.
Still named Leif de Leeuw podcast.
Do we have a better name already?
Nope.
Let's still call it the Leif de Leeuw podcast.
Your band is called Leif de Leeuw Band as well. I mean,
yeah, I'm used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm used to it.
Do you ever think that gets weird using your own name that often?
No, I'm used to it now. So I'll just stick with it. It's okay. It's okay for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it. Let's keep it,
Unless
man.
I get the feeling at some point that we have to share this 50-50, then we have to think about another
we can
name.
always negotiate. So feel free to negotiate, Maarten. It's all good, man.
Well, let's take it to the guitar news segment first.
Okay.
In Guitar Land, Maarten has announced something very exciting. Just like probably 10, 11 years back now, they're revamping the entire standard line.
Okay.
So then the standard became the reimagined. Do you remember?
Yeah. I think I demoed them with Maico a few times.
Probably. Yeah.
I like them.
Same.
They're great guitars.
Big upgrade on the standards before that, if you ask me. And now they're taking a step further and they're bringing in golden era specs to the standard line. So they're changing up the standard scallop bracing for forward shifted golden era style bracing, just like on the modern deluxes that they have now.
Yeah.
They're getting a thinner fretboard, which I don't really understand.
Is it?
It's like you're losing to save less wood, but
save money.
Yeah, maybe, but they're sharing it as if it's a big USP.
Okay.
So I was curious, like I don't know.
I don't know either.
Thinner fretboard with beveled edges, so I guess that's comfortable.
Okay.
The big thing for me, I was so bummed out when I bought my D18 a few years ago. Yeah. It had plastic bridge pins. And now they come with either ebony or bone pins.
Oh, that's an upgrade.
Yeah, and it's a must, maybe.
But, what do you think about the standard frets on the Maartens? I have a D18 as well. And when I bought it was a second hand. It's from 2013, and I always loved that guitar. It just sounds really great, but I always felt like the frets on that guitar were so small, and I didn't like the guitar that much to play it because it didn't feel really comfortable with the small frets. And then I changed it, and the sound just exploded.
You changed the frets.
I changed the frets to the jumbos.
Okay.
And it sounds so big right now, the guitar, since I changed the frets. So what do you think about the frets?
It's not something I think about a lot, to be honest. And to be fair, my D18 is, well, there's nothing special about my D18 other than that it's mine, but it's
same with mine. It's just a standard one. Yeah.
It's the only guitar I have that just feels like home immediately.
Yeah.
Like even with my eyes closed, I know exactly where I am. Like weird flat picking licks, I'll just get them on my D18, but I won't get them on any other guitar. I just know where the feeling is and where I should put my hands. And I've never really thought about changing out frets. Why do you think it impacts the sound that much?
I don't know, but I think like for me as a player, I always felt like I was feeling too much fretboard, and especially on some vintage guitars, you can have that feeling as well. Like the frets are so small, and sometimes I think they use like the banjo frets. They are so tiny, and you're playing like just you're fighting against the fretboard, especially when you're playing a band or something like that, or playing something more difficult. You have to push harder, and with the bigger frets, it's like you don't have to push that hard. You just
to either get a better sound or to intonate it more properly.
I think just for playing. Just for playing, it feels better to play. It has a better feel because you don't push in the fretboard. You just play. You push inside, like in between the frets. So you don't touch the fretboard as much. But for the sound, I don't know. I think it has something to do with the intonation. You can push a little harder when you want to get like a sharper tone. But I don't know. It's still a kind of a mystery to me. Maybe the frets, the standard frets, weren't just a match with that guitar. I don't know. I'm just so happy with
you
or with me.
I mean, it does sound logical if you have more fret, it would give you more room to
wiggle around.
To wiggle around.
Yeah. And it feels more. You can play with the note inside. When you fret the note, you can play with it. You can push it a little harder and release it. And
have you ever played a scalloped fretboard?
Yes, but it's weird for me.
That's too much.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. Too modern. But I gotta say, I love Yngwie Malmsteen. It's just his whole image and his whole I'm a rock star and more is more. I just love it. So that's the thing I really love about scalloped fretboards, Yngwie Malmsteen.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing, I guess.
Okay. Have you now changed up all the frets on all your guitars to the same size? Or is it specifically for that guitar that it works?
I kind of would like to do it someday because I like big frets, but it depends on the guitar. Sometimes it just works. So later I will show you some of my acoustic guitars, and they have like not the standard frets on it, but not my specific kind of jumbo fret size, but it just works on those guitars. And but I kind of like I'm getting used to stainless steel on some electric guitars.
Okay, yeah.
So
because they last longer or because they feel better?
I think a little bit of both. It's like they last longer, and especially on I have an old Melody Maker, and it has like it's from '59, and it has like the Brazilian rosewood, and I just don't want to mess with it in the future. So, and they last so long, and they stay good. And I also have it on my Panucci Les Paul.
Oh yeah,
and it's so stable, and it just sings, and it's the sustain is like incredible, and there's a little bit of high end added to the sound, but I kind of like it, especially when you're playing in a big band. It adds a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of cutting through in the mix.
Yeah, I can get that. It's a way harder material, so the sound will be much brighter, of course.
But for me, with the guitars that don't have the big frets yet, I kind of like to have it. I just kind of want to first wear them out a little bit, because otherwise it just feels like waste. And refretting a guitar is expensive, so that's like something to keep in mind. And I have a lot of guitars, so.
Do you run into issues with luthiers or repair shops not wanting to work on your stainless steel frets?
Yes. Like a guy who I go to. His name is Ralph, and he's just one of the best. And he's not a fan of the stainless steel stuff, and his whole toolkit doesn't work with it.
Oh yeah.
So I just take the other guitars to him, and but usually when you have a good setup on stainless steel, you don't need to change much because the frets last so long.
You don't have to get them leveled or anything.
No, and you can just adjust the truss rod a little bit if something is weird, or in the winter, during the winter time, or you just don't and just deal with it. But I kind of like to. For me, it really helps to, especially on some Gibson style guitars. I feel like when I change the strings, the strings are a little bit pulling. They're pulling the neck a little bit, so the action will be a little bit higher. And once the string gets older, after a few weeks, the strings don't pull the neck as hard. So so the action will be a little bit lower, because the tension of the strings just changes over time. And I kind of like to do it with the action of the bridge on the Tune-o-matic bridge.
Yeah.
To just lower it a little bit. And it's just I check it before the gig when I play a show, and I'm kind of specific about like getting the right height for my string. So I want to be able to play a fast legato lick, but I also want to be able to play a decent slide run on the same guitar.
Yeah.
So that's always a bit of a challenge. But
where would you say you gravitate in the low action, high action spectrum?
I think my ideal setup is around 1.1 millimeter.
On the treble side?
Both sides. Just
That sounds like it's incredibly low.
Yeah, but it's not. It's On the electric guitars.
Mm-hmm.
On the electric guitars. On the acoustic guitars, I'm not sure. But that's for me, it's like, yeah, it's low, but you don't have to pick as or play as loud on a guitar. And a lot of people say it's really important to have a high action for big tone, but I don't believe it, because if you have a good technique, you are you should be able to pick the string and make the string move in this direction. If this is the fretboard, like if you have a straight fretboard, if you play it really you pick it really loud, the string will attack the fretboard and it will buzz against the strings. But if you pick it the other way, it will move across the fretboard, and it has like all the freedom to move around. So it has to do with picking.
Yeah.
So, and good technique.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So, but that's my opinion. But if you're not really into like that technique-y kind of stuff, it can help to have like a really high action if that's your thing, and that's also completely fine. But for me, it's like I don't think like I don't think like a high action adds to big tone or something.
And big strings, because those usually go hand in hand with, at least in my opinion, or in my experience, the people that like a high action, they'll play 13s. They might even go to 14s if they're real badasses.
Well, for a long time when I was growing up, I just played 10s, and I think 10 years ago I switched to 11s.
On electrics,
and they just sound good to me. Just
better than 10s?
Yeah, and I like the feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was for a long time I was into the Dario strings, but now I gravitate towards the Ernie balls.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
They have a little bit more high end, a little bit more. I don't know, and they last a little longer.
Cheaper as well.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think they're in the same range kind of, but I like them, and I just like the string to have a little bit of tension. I like to be able to give it a good push in the left hand, and in the right hand I don't want to push it that hard. So the right hand has all to do with the action, and the left hand is like the bends and the stuff, and that's where I kind of want to feel a little bit of tension. And especially with playing slide, it's also helpful to have
I can imagine,
a little bit of I don't know, strength from the string to push it, to give it a little tension. That always helps.
Yeah, I'm the same. At least on electrics, I don't want to struggle, but I want to. I want to have, you
want to feel it.
You want to feel it. At some point, you don't even have to hear it anymore. You just know, if I'm putting this amount of power in, I know where I am.
Yeah, for sure. But that's like the whole string discussion. I also watched the comparison video. I think it was with Rick Beato, and there was like they were checking out like a blind test. They were checking out the 7s or the 8 strings, 9, 10s, and they checked it out. And I think the thinnest string was like the best sounding.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. Everybody plays so different, and it has it's like one tiny thing in the whole chain of of guitar tone. So, and it's different for everyone. So I believe this works for me. So
that you should always just stick with that. I recommend that to customers all the time.
Yeah,
just,
that's like,
if it feels good, it feels good. Don't question it. If it feels good and you sound good with it, perfect.
Exactly. So that's like my take on it, and it depends on the guitar as well. And I tend, if you have like a guitar with big frets, you can also have higher action, in my opinion. Like it feels more logical because it won't feel as hard to grab a string because you're not pushing into the fretboard.
Yeah.
So for me, it feels logic to have like a slightly higher action when the frets are taller. They're not like bigger in size. That's like the jumbo fret is like, you can have like all kinds of jumbo frets, but I think the most important factor with this with the string height and the action and setup is like just if they are tall, you won't feel the fretboard as much. So
well, you shouldn't. To be honest, you don't have to feel the fretboard. You don't have to be pressing that deep to make tone.
Exactly. But it's a difficult thing because like a lot of guitars, especially the like we talked about the Maartens, they have like standard like small frets.
Yeah.
And they're not that high. So
I think that's the market that's making its way into the brands as well, because I see people around, at least around our store, people just really like low action nowadays.
Yeah.
And they'll request the lowest action possible without buzzing, which is fair enough. I mean, if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can imagine if you're just sitting at the couch and just playing, and at home, then it's more convenient. But for me, like I want to have like I guess it just really depends.
Yeah,
it just really depends. But I can imagine if you have small frets, low action can actually really help. I also have it on some guitars with small frets. Low action, it just feels more comfortable.
Yeah,
you don't have to fight it. You shouldn't have to fight the guitar. That's my opinion. And how about the new frets on the fret size on the new Maartens?
They didn't change that. At least not
that
I know of.
Missed chance.
Well, maybe we should call them up.
Yeah.
Are you going to the NAMM?
No.
You could have told them there. But
Yeah. Well, next time. Next time. Well, I hope so. Invite me, please, Maarten. Invite me.
They didn't invite me either. So, what's up, Koen? I've got some more news from the guitar world.
Let's go.
You must have heard this already, but Christie's, the auction house, is now auctioning off Jeff Beck's entire guitar collection.
Whoa.
Didn't you know?
Well, I heard something this morning, a little bit about, you told me a little bit. You teased it a little bit, but I haven't heard the news yet, so tell me.
You want to see some examples?
Yeah.
Well, they're auctioning off everything.
Okay.
It's like they raided his studio or whatever, so of course the 54 Oxblood.
Oxblood. Oh man,
this is so cool.
That's so cool.
This one is. They're saying it will go for £500,000. That is.
I think it will be more. I think it will be more. Like, I think it will go over.
And I thought this is a real Leif guitar.
Oh man, yeah, that's.
You remember that one?
Yeah, that's the how do you the Telegib.
Yeah,
right?
the Telegib. Yeah.
Actually, I have a guitar, and it's kind of the same idea. It's like a Tele body. It's from the 70s. I bought it as a body, and it's also blonde, and with it has like a humbucker in the bridge and a P90 in the neck. So it's a really weird guitar. And
it kind of looks like this one as well, doesn't it?
And I bought it from Rink at the string. Rest in peace.
Oh wow!
He died. He died a few weeks ago, and it was a great man. He was a.
Did you go there often?
Sometimes. I bought I bought a body from him and a really beautiful Epiphone guitar, a Century, and he always had cool stuff laying around, and also this body he had it, and I think he told me he traded it with an Indonesian guy in a bar for a Squire or something. So it was like a really weird kind of deal. But I bought the guitar from him, and it because I loved it so much because it reminded me of the Telegib. Of Jeff Beck, because I always liked the idea of like the Tele is such a great design to mess with. Like you can put like a gold foil in the neck position, or like a Charlie Christian style pickup, or like a P90 or a humbucker, and it will all work.
Yeah.
And it will still sound like a Tele.
Yeah, it's a great blank slate to get started from. It even looks cool. It's such an icon. Yeah. Just changing it up a little bit is a lot of fun as well.
Super cool, yeah. So that's like that's every time I pick up that guitar, it reminds me of the cool Telegib from. So if a millionaire wants to buy that guitar and wants to donate it to me, you can contact me.
Or just lend it.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe that would be
for
awesome.
A few gigs. They also have. I thought this was awesome. If I had the money, like £800 will get you a flight case from the 60s.
Whoa.
I mean, just using this as a table or something, that would be
cool.
So good.
The Jeff Beck group. Did you know, like, Rod Stewart was the singer of the Jeff Beck group?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Before he went to Faces, right?
Yeah. It's just so cool, those old recordings of those two together. It's like amazing. I just love the whole career of Jeff Beck. It's like amazing. It's I met him once. Like, wow. I met him once, and I shook his hand, and I remember it was like I was touching his hand, and it was like I was shaking because I was completely starstruck, but because he's my biggest hero, guitar hero, and I remember his hand felt like little pillows. It was so soft.
Yeah.
Such soft hands, and I thought, like, it's in the hands.
That's it. Yeah.
Because I don't think it's online anymore, but I ripped it someday from YouTube. It's there was his rig rundown, and there was just his guitar tech was just like getting all the guitars out and the Marshalls and stuff, and there were a lot of questions from the internet, and like, what kind of volume pots did he use, and what kind of, like, everything was standard on his Strat. Like, it's just a Strat, and it's just a cable, and it's just I don't know, I can't remember all the pedals. It's just a tube screamer, and it's all the standard stuff, and the guitar tech just said, like, it's just in the hands. It's just in the hands. So that's like I think that's that's so special about Jeff Beck. Like, you can hear it within one note. There's like, this is Jeff Beck.
Yeah,
it's clear.
Yeah. Well, if you see him playing, I mean, you could have his entire rig at your house, but you will
never sound.
You will never sound like that.
No, and that's like, and that's just such a thing of beauty with great guitarists, and that's so cool. And Jeff Beck was just one of a kind. He was always developing his own style, and also through like all the weird guitars he played, like the Oxblood Les Paul, and like the Telegib, and I think he used it on the recording of Cause Vanitas Lovers.
He did. Yeah.
But there's just one thing I'm always wondering. Let's nerd a little bit on that recording. Like, I don't know if you know it, or the listeners at home, please let me know, because I'm always wondering. There's in the second time he plays the A theme, there's just that out of phase Strat sound, just for, I think, like 5 seconds, and I'm just wondering if is it that Telegib, or is it like, did he just use the Strat for, like?
Well, the stories are that he used the Telegib for that specific recording,
but
maybe it's just a recording error.
Could be. I don't know. I'm just always wondering when I listen to that recording, and the whole record is just amazing. Like, blow by blow is just so good. If you want to just chill and listen to great guitar stuff, just put on that record, and it's so beautiful. But I was always wondering, like, there's just that Strat tone for just a little while. The second position, it sounds like it. So
maybe they did an overdub.
Yeah, could be, but it's just weird. So if
I've never noticed it.
If somebody knows what's the deal with that few seconds,
do you like it?
Yeah, because it's funky.
Yeah,
yeah, it's funky. That's I just like it.
Maybe you should pay homage to that on an upcoming record. Like, you'll use your funky up telly.
Yeah.
And just for 5 seconds, just plug in a Strat and overdub it.
But I don't own a Strat. Okay, I will borrow one. I will borrow one from you.
Borrow, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So but Jeff Beck, man, he's just so cool. He was just the greatest. And for like folks who aren't that familiar with all his stuff, there's just so much great stuff from Jeff Beck out there. But I want to say, like, one of my favorite recordings of Jeff Beck is on the Amused to Death album from Roger Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's this, I think it's What God Wants Part 3 or something. It's just amazing. He plays a guitar solo and it's so screaming. It's so, and all the stuff he played on that record is just so unique. And also, it's also on the first tune. There's like a whole Floydish kind of soundscape going on.
I don't really know that record that well.
Oh, you should check it out. It's just one of his finest work ever.
Cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I think Steve Lukather did the other guitars for that record. So it's like a really epic combination.
Yeah.
It's super cool, yeah.
What I like about Jeff is that on paper he can do something so incredibly cliche. Like on that one record, he ends the record with a cover of Nessun Dorma.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
It's
so beautiful.
It's
with any other guitarist, I'd probably think,
don't do it.
Why? This is like playing the national anthem again.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah, and also Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, that one's really good as well.
Goosebumps when I There it's
late night in the car and crying to
it's
that.
So good. It's so good. And also there are some videos of him playing it live at, I think, Jules Holland.
Yeah.
And he's just playing on that wide strat and just by himself with some people in the background playing violins and stuff. So
doesn't he do a Beatles song there as well?
I think so. A Day in the Life.
Probably. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. But he's Strawberry Fields,
but he was playing it so so dynamically, and it was like from super soft to extremely loud, and I was thinking like it must be so. It's risky to play like that, like to and especially in a TV kind of situation, it's always a bit weird because you have cameras all around you and you have the lights and he's just standing there by himself, not with his band, just so naked and playing so soft and so big and just no pedals, just his volume knob.
Yeah.
It's so in control and the thing I like the most about his style, there's no playbook. He just wrote it himself because he can't call like somebody up and say, "Hey, how do I have to play this part with my thumb and holding the whammy bar and the volume knob, and how do I do it?" No, he just did it himself. He can't call anybody up. He just have to check it. He has to do it himself. And that's what defines a great guitarist.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great musician. Great creative in general.
Exactly. And then you can choose cliche songs, because it will always sound like you.
Yeah.
And that's something that's like a amazing goal in life as a musician.
I agree. And I like what you said about it being high risk, because I think that's what, at least as a creative, that is what you should be aiming for, because high risk does mean high reward. In some cases.
Exactly.
Like if you don't go for it, then why try?
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I last year Dickie Betts died from the Allman Brothers band.
Oh, whoa, I didn't even know.
He was one of the two original guitarists, like Dwayne and Dickie were the original guitarists, and I really liked what Warren Haynes wrote about him, because he played together with Dickie Betts in the Dickie Betts band and also in the Allman Brothers band for more than 10 years, I believe. And he just said he played so fearless and with so much danger. And that's something you can see him as a simple guitarist who just plays pentatonic stuff, but he was just going for it and ripping it, and just with so much energy and so much confidence. And that's like the fearlessness of and danger of that guitarist. And also with Jeff Beck and also with Derek Trucks, I think there's also like they're playing such amazing, sometimes really simple stuff, just the old school blues licks, but with so much danger. That's like the ultimate goal.
What do you mean by danger? Is it the edge?
The edge, it's edge. It's just confidence and just going places and see. Sometimes you are, for example, when you're soloing, you know that feeling. You're going somewhere, you're going for it, but you don't know exactly how you're gonna get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are going that place, for example, you're playing a weird scale on a chord, so and you are making a choice, and it sounds weird in the moment, but you're doing with so much confidence. The audience thinks, okay, what's happening now, and then you have to get out of that weird scale, and if you are playing it with so much confidence and perhaps danger, then you are you will find your way back if you are doing it with the right intention. That's what I mean with danger, for example. So that's like going places that maybe it's just a weird choice, but if you're doing it with the confidence, it can actually be like really adventurous and really, and that's something a guy like Jeff Beck, he did it, and a guy like Becks, and also somebody like Steve Ray Vaughan.
Yeah,
like he played with so much energy, is going for it, so loud and so heavy. Like it's a like the intention of playing. That's kind of danger. I would call it danger because it's like serious business, man. And it's and a lot of people they are just I see it sometimes with students. They really, in the beginning, they are kind of scared.
Yeah,
to play.
Playing it safe,
and you won't get there playing safe. Just play it 200%. And
well, how do you help them along? How do you get them to that place where they're confident enough to follow their own wit, so to say?
That's for
and willing to make mistakes probably as well along the way.
Well, I think the biggest lesson is accepting who you are as a musician and accepting that you will make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And you will, but how to deal with the mistakes, that's actually the thing what will define your playing.
Yeah.
And will define the confidence that comes off your playing.
Yeah.
So you can't play without mistakes. That's like that's a thing that we have to get out of the way.
Do you have an example of how you would
like
make a mistake and resolve it again?
Okay, for example, okay,
you can get a guitar. Nice introduction to these guitars.
Yes. Okay, for example, if I'm playing a lick, I want to land on that high note, but if I'm landing like in my slide, I'm just stopping one position too early. Just bend it.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing, something like that, like if you're landing on a weird.
Yeah.
It just becomes a passing tone.
Yeah.
So that's something. That's kind of if you are playing with that so-called danger, you are just meaning the mistake as well.
Yeah.
Because your playing is full of so much intention and so much willingness to deliver. That's something. It doesn't matter if you play a wrong note, because there are no wrong notes.
Mm-hmm.
If you it's a vague concept that you have right and wrong notes. It's just there are notes that sound better to the harmony and that will fit the harmony. But if you're playing with the right intention, like I don't know, like T-Bone Walker is such an amazing blues player, and he plays like all the blues licks he plays. They are not, they're minor pentatonic stuff. So
but they're fearless.
They're fearless, exactly.
Well.
They're dangerous.
Yeah,
and that's like, and you can't the right scale for a 7 chord, like for the blues, is the Mixolydian scale.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mixolydian scale sounds nice. It's probably my favorite scale, but it sounds nice. But it's, if you want to play the blues, you have to you have to be able to use the pentatonic scale, because it's the wrong scale. It's a minor scale over over a chord with like a major third.
Yeah. I interviewed Josh Smith a couple of years ago, and he said he'd always incorporate a pentatonic scale or a blues scale into anything he's playing, because the audience knows it.
Yeah.
Because like they can hear Mixolydian, but they don't have a feeling necessarily with it, but they have a feeling with the blues scale.
Exactly. And that's and because it's such a statement.
Yeah.
Such a bold statement to play like a pentatonic scale on like the, let's say, not the pentatonic scale, a wrong scale on the wrong harmony. Like it's so dissonant, and it's so that it becomes like you can recognize it.
Yeah.
So that's I totally agree with that. Like it's just an iconic statement.
Yeah, I thought the same, and it helped me along as well, because I didn't have to feel ashamed of playing the pentatonic scale so much.
It's the greatest guitar scale, because it has 2 notes. It has 2 notes per string.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing. Like the major scale, it has 3 notes per string. So that sucks. That sucks because
it's way too difficult.
Yeah, and it doesn't fit in one position. If you want to fit it in one position, you have to switch to 2 notes per string eventually, and which sucks for picking on the guitar. Like so it's just a perfect scale. Super cool scale. Just the best.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell something about that guitar you're holding, and maybe the guitars you've brought along with you?
Yeah, I thought like here at the Fellowship, of course, you have like the greatest acoustic guitars, and but I was thinking like let's just, you always bring great guitars to me, and I thought like
let's take some not so great guitars.
Let's bring some not so great, but some different guitars.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, so this is like an wow guitar, and it's a really cool guitar. It's branded. I think it's built by Regal.
Oh yeah,
and it's branded Honolulu Conservatory Oahu of Music, and it's just a super.
Was it a slide guitar before, or don't you know?
No, it was just I think it was made for Hawaiian music. That was the intention, and probably shipped to Hawaii. And it's just, I just love the way it looks. It has like great paintings. So
that's stunning,
and it has like 3 colors of how do you call it? It's perloid material. Yeah. So it's a perloid fretboard, a perloid pickguard, and a perloid headstock in different colors, and just amazing painting on it. And it just sounds super cool.
Well, give us a test.
It just sounds really good, and I think like the
great low end as well.
Yeah, and it has something special, and it's of course it's a small parlor guitar, and I think like
it's got Brazilian rosewood looking like.
No, it's I believe this is birchwood, but it's made to look like
they stained it.
And
it's very convincing.
Yeah, and it just sounds so special, and it's just like has a really, really big neck, and it's like,
it looks like it,
and it's just a super cool guitar, and they're not like these are I think this one was made in 29 or maybe 30.
Yeah, it looks like a 30s model.
Yeah, and it's just a great pre-war guitar, and just not like the like a Maarten or a Gibson, but just something different, and that's something I kind of like, and this one was restored at Stay Gold Guitars.
Oh yeah, you went there.
I went there this summer.
Yeah.
So shout out to Sean. He's a great guy, and I met him, and he has like a passion for these guitars. And
do they do the harmony conversions as well over there?
Yeah, the Becks and Dill conversions, and they're great, and just super cool people. And they have like a really passion for these guitars. So I think he restored it, and I bought it in the Netherlands. This guitar, and look, I'm really lucky. This guitar found its way to me because it's just a special one.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks so cool. So that's a cool one. You have more. Yeah, I have more.
Can you give me this one for a second? I want to feel like enormous neck. It is enormous.
Even the strings are vintage.
Original strings. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just a super special.
But it is weird. Such a big neck.
Such a big neck, and the guy I bought it from, he was selling it because it was the neck was too big for him, and I have big hands, so I just.
You don't mind the struggle?
No, it's cool, and you don't want to play like your fast bluegrass runs or whatever on this guitar. You just want it's just a great guitar as a flavor.
What do these guitars offer you? Because I'm seeing a pattern here. Here's another short scaleless, small body, big neck,
but
old acoustic guitar.
I just like stuff that sounds different, and I think the greatest guitar tones are just different than like the I don't know, like the standard Gibsons or Maartens. Of course, they're great.
Well, they were different at some point too. Of course.
Exactly, and but there's just so much. There was so much great stuff being made in the States and also in Europe, and just that's less famous, I believe. But it just has this guitar has like a really deep low end and like a kind of a growl, and it's loud, and it's just I don't know, just something special, and it forces you, and also the big neck, it forces you to play different and to find different solutions for stuff. So
I really like that because it isn't the ideal situation of a guitar, but it does offer a lot of creativity. Like the more boundaries you set yourself, I feel like the more creative you get because you have to work around it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I just like that kind of stuff. So that's for me, it forces you to do different stuff, and also in the studio, it's a lot of times you don't need the best sounding guitar. You just need a guitar that sounds special and puts it in the right place in the mix. Like a guitar can sound like huge and a big low end, a lot of high end, but a lot of that low end will get in the way of the bass. So a small bodied guitar can So small bodied guitar can offer like is a great solution for like a studio production or something. Just like also this guitar is like this is a master tone, and I think it's from 1939 or 40, and it was made by Gibson, and it was originally it was a lap steel guitar, and it's converted by Spruce Guitars in Utrecht.
Oh yeah,
and to just a normal guitar, and it just sounds really good. It's made of Honduras mahogany.
Nice.
So the good stuff, and it's
well, to them at the time that was just the cheap shit.
It was the cheap shit, but nowadays it's the good stuff. So that's really it's just a really cool guitar, and especially with the mahogany top, it's just
reminds me of a Kalamazoo.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the same body shape, and it's like a KG 11 with the body at the 12th fret.
KG 11 +1.
Exactly. So and it sounds just super special, super useful. And also, I think this guitar, it's leather braced, like all the guitars I brought today. And like leather braced guitars can sound just really good and really funky and super cool. And like X-braced guitars sound just different, not better.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to make as a statement. Like it's you can have like great leather braced guitars.
Yeah. You have to just adjust your playing style a bit. It's
exactly.
a lot thinner. It doesn't require as much work to get moving either.
Exactly. So, but it's just super special guitar, and I like it. This one is perhaps more versatile than the Oahu, but it's like the guy Lucas who I bought this guitar from. He said like some, and I agree with him. With this guitar, it's like when you play it, there's just a little bit of lap steel still in the sound. Roundness. It's just a super special. It just sounds really
nice.
Really nice, and it's.
And these kind of guitars, of course, are as expensive as the other vintage one that are known to the crowd.
These aren't that expensive, and a lot of guitars like this, like I think Mastertone Special was like Gibson had a lot of weird brands.
Yeah. So all these catalog brands.
So I think the Mastertones were just, I believe, the lap steel series guitars. But I don't know. Like you can find these if you're lucky. I saw one a few months ago, still a lap steel for like €300 on Reverb.
Yeah.
So that's cool, you know. And of course, if you want to get it in to make it into a flat top, you have to get like
frets
and stuff like that. So that's a bit of a challenge. But yeah, like I just like these guitars. They feel adventurous to me in a way. So that's like. I don't know. It's something cool.
Yeah.
And I want to have also another really special guitar.
Take it out.
I have let's see. This guitar that I have here is a really special one. It's probably one of my favorite guitars and one of my most. If I pick it up, I will always find inspiration because it's just so different and so good. And it's a Lion & Healy. It's a Columbus Parlor.
So it's even older than these guys, probably.
Yeah. This one is from the early 1910 kind of. But it's hard to date these guitars. But it's at least more than 100 years old.
Cool.
So that's super cool. And this guitar has just such a special sound. It's not the best sustain, and it's not like it sounds the best. But it just when I use it in a studio production or something, or I play it live, it always cuts through. And I don't know what it is. And
do you always use it with the pickup? Or
yes, it has like the Armand pickup in. It's the RCHB pickup, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I wouldn't know, Leif.
It's like but for the folks at home, it's just like that that pickup. What's his name? The old blues musician. He put it in the J50, and it's just he made the pickup famous.
Yeah,
I forgot his name, but it's just Lightning Hopkins.
Yeah, I was about to say it's.
Yeah, I think it's him. And
I thought of JD Simon playing it first, and then
could be. But like he really made it famous in the 60s, and these pickups are just super cool, and especially this one from the 50s. It sounds really good, and especially when you blend like the acoustic signal with the electric signal, it's just magical. So
give us a run. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
It's just right now I'm feeling even inspired because it's just it sounds so good, and the pickup sounds just weird and warm and just it's not versatile, but don't go in too much into versatile like with guitars. Sometimes something works and it's just inspiring, and that's like especially with this guitar. I don't know. It's just and it looks amazing, and it has like the flaming birch back and sides. So that's
it was fancy stuff back in the day.
Yeah, for sure, and it's just super cool, and I'm just this is one of my favorites ever.
Awesome.
And it's so somebody just loved this guitar because it's so beaten up, and it's like
it's great.
So
and probably which I think is a lot of fun is for someone as Lightning Hopkins to choose a J50 and put one of these Yarmans in there. It was probably just an accident.
Yeah.
Or he didn't have any money to get an electric.
Exactly.
I mean, he had the pickup lying around and he liked his J50 and he just combined them.
And that's just super cool. And especially like this pickup, I remembered I bought it on Marktplaats, the Dutch community for like secondhand stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the guy, I sent him a message like, I want to buy this pickup from you. And I said, no, I'm gonna keep it for my son. And it's
you were like, no, don't do it.
And I was like, he was like, yeah, but I just really want to have that pickup. And he said, no, I just keep it for my son. And then a half a year later, he sent me a message. He's not doing anything with it. So if you still want it, you can buy the pickup. And I was like, okay, let's go. And I put the pickup in this guitar and was like match made in heaven. So
awesome.
So that's like it's super cool. And I'm also thinking like maybe in the OAU I will also put like a pickup. I have a different style pickup laying around, and I don't know. It's also super cool sounding, but I don't know yet. It's just I'm always fascinated by the acoustic electric kind of guitar tones.
Yeah,
like you also can hear it sometimes on the Chris Stapleton records.
Yeah.
Like they I think they mic'd out like a semi-hollow body with a acoustic mic in front of it, and they mic the amps as well. And that's like if you have like that amp tone and like the springiness of the strings,
yeah,
it feels like the most natural reverb kind of the most natural airy kind of way of recording stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. Well, I think it's cool because you're using a rejected guitar, more or less, and that's what great creatives have been doing for years. It's like why the rock and rollers picked up the Les Paul in the first time, because the jazz musicians didn't want them, so they were cheap.
And
they didn't have any money, and they were like, we'll use them.
Yeah.
And Kurt Cobain did it 20 years later with the Offsets.
Yeah,
jazz musicians didn't want them.
Exactly. So
he used them.
Exactly. So that's just super cool, and just be creative in the guitars that you use. Like if you want to play jazz on a Mustang,
go for it.
Go for it. And if it's that's your tone, like that's just amazing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for me. It feels like these type of guitars they add something to my musical sound and it makes it special in a way, the music, and it adds a different flavor.
Yeah.
So
and gives inspiration, which might be the most important part.
Yeah, exactly. Like Sam and I, Sam from my band, the singer, and we released 1 year ago. We released an album, and it's called From a Living Room, and we recorded it ourselves. And we used this guitar a lot, and especially like it became somehow the signature sound of the record.
Yeah.
And Sam also has like a really it was not expensive, but it's a romantic guitar. It's a Spanish one. It sounds so good, and
nylon strings as well.
Nylon strings, and we those two guitars together, they just sound like the best. Really like the best.
Yeah.
So
and looking back, you might not have even been able to make the record without those guitars.
Exactly.
But you didn't know that at the time.
So that's like we talked a little bit about Jeff Beck. Guitar tone is is in the fingers, of course, and in the hands, but you can with some guitars you can just add a lot to that.
Yeah.
To the basic tone and really make it special. So yeah, that's my take on on these weird guitars.
I think that's a great message to end this podcast on. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Just
let yourself get inspired.
Yeah.
Don't
be dangerous.
Yeah.
Be dangerous and adventurous.
Play jazz on a BC Rich Warlock.
Go for it. Go for it.
Play
man.
some Bach on a Mustang.
Yeah,
why not?
Exactly. So, well, I think we have it for today, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so too. Do you want to play us out?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
See you next time.
One. Yoo-hoo! Geiler Scheiße.